Hey guys, Alex with Thrash Racing here, at least the media side. Our Taicho, Yusuf's taking a break while we wait for Julian to arrive from California.
We're gonna go find Julian, and he shouldn't be hard to find because he's towering over everybody else.
Hey, man!
Yeah, so today while we're out here, we're going to be heading to BM Cup. It's being revived this year, and where Julian's going to be competing. There's going to be a lot of old school D1 drivers from what I know that's going to be showing up. Pretty OG, like, drift event. It's actually pretty cool to go out there and experience with the guys. Tomorrow we're going to be heading out to Naoki's shop.
Naoki.
The word now and the word key. The month May and the guy from Fast and Furious Han.
You check out the S14 for Julian, and hopefully he can fit. Saturday's the test day with Naoki, Miki, and Julian, so we're going to get some sexy tandems going on that day. And Sunday's the day of the event, and we're going to just ride it out from there. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. Everybody knows how drifting can be. Other than that, when you guys see us again, I'm going to use my editing magic so by the time Yusuf's actually awake and get the whole day started. With BM Cup only a few days away, there were some things we needed to take care of before getting ready for the event. We needed to head over to Naoki's because Julian's usually vertically challenged when it comes to getting in drift cars, and so we can get an idea of what he's going to be driving for the weekend.
This routes right back to the intake.
Before heading to Naoki's, we needed to get Julian a helmet. He didn't want to deal with the problems from bringing one from the USA to Japan, so he'd rather just buy one here and leave it for the next time he comes back. So off to Up Garage we went. Up Garage is more known as a car part distributor, but the one we found ourselves at was the motorcycle version, meaning there's some very sexy brain buckets on display, but due to BM Cup being more of a competition, brain buckets weren't exactly going to slide, so we had to find Julian a full face helmet. After a quick search, Julian found a helmet that fit his big ass head, which funny enough was by the brand LS2, which is probably going to be the closest thing that Julian gets to an LS in his life. So we picked up the helmet and made our way back. Then we seen some cool shit on the way back, and made our way back to the apartment before heading out to Naoki's. Yusuf brought an item on the train which was quite interesting to say the least.
He said, please try the seat.
If it was on the floor and the wheel was spaced out a little bit, it might work.
So the seat was a little tight. Julian's thighs were touching the steering wheel, not his knees, his fucking thighs. But Julian obviously was prepared for this. He brought his own seat brackets and steering wheel spacers to accommodate for his size. But once Naoki saw his steering wheel spacers, well, he reacted accordingly.
Oh my god.
After shuffling the cars in the shop to make room for the S14, one of the S13s didn't want to start. Naoki then showed us his witchcraft to get the car started. What are you guys doing now?
I'm gonna see if this seat setup will work for me, if I can just set it as far down as possible. See if I can get away with not pulling the cage out.
Yeah, that didn't work. So the new plan was to remove the current seat, put in the Thrash seat that's been off to the side, and hope it fits in the car without modifying the cage. But the Thrash seat still ran into the same problems. At this point, there was something that had to be done about the cage.
でこれはこのままにしといて、でここが足りひんくなるから、ここはタイラップ。オッケー。あ。オッケー。
After seeing how natural Julian and Naoki's interactions were, I asked Julian what he thought about having Naoki's support for BM Cup.
Yeah, it's like obviously like huge dream. Like it doesn't even really register in my head that I'm like driving one of his cars. Now it just feels like he's a friend, you know, even if we can't totally communicate, like can still tell that we think the same, at least in drifting. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously he's returning the favor from Super D, but it actually, you know, seems like he wants to drive with us, and it's just, yeah, it's super cool.
They're one and the same. It's just Naoki's been doing it longer. Like they both drive close to their friends and fuck their cars up because they know that's how you get better. Naoki may have had like a longer stint doing like professional stuff. If there was a similar run like MSC and all those other like middleweight contender competitions in America, I'm sure Julian would enter, but there's no real middle ground.
So it's like things are finally winding down here at the shop. Julian got his seat in, got the steering wheel in. Seems tonight was pretty successful. Miki just got here.
This weekend, what are you going to do?
I will go to the Nikko.
Nikko for BM Cup?
Yes.
Yes. Did you drive BM Cup before? Where? Which?
Mehang.
Mehang?
Mehang.
Oh, I didn't know that. Are you going to beat Naoki?
Sure.
Yes, for sure.
So what's the plan, bro?
Finish up, go home, prepare for tomorrow, and go to Tochigi.
Yay.
Yay. Things don't work out the way you want them to, you know what I'm saying? For all you kids out there that ain't got no motherfucking patience, we were supposed to be on the train, you know, heading up to Tochigi. Some shit didn't work out, so this guy's just gonna have to go straight up. Just do it. He's just gonna have to go do it, man. So, hey, no, don't you? You know, I'm gonna take that smack back. We're gonna take the train tomorrow. Sunday is the event, so fuck it. Let's go. Now you can have it back.
Vantage.
We just got off the train about a few hours ago, came to the hotel, checked in, went to go get a bite to eat. Things were winding down. We decided to leave. We're going to head back to the room. And before we know it, we were actually greeted by quite the surprise.
My name is Julian.
We saw Kikuchi and Tokita and like some of the old school like D1 drivers like Fukuda. And we were just like kind of like blown away because all of us were just like, wow, those are like the guys that we all look up to or looked up to.
Yeah, Kikuchi, man, that video of him in the black 180 was like big inspiration early on. Him at Nikko, so yeah, he's definitely one of the greats.
It was nice to know like that same personality that they have that we know from like, you know, JDM option and all that fun stuff is still transferred over to like a daily thing, even to like newcomers or gaijins like us. And they were just super welcoming and they wanted us to go out and drink, but we were going to turn over for the night and just come back to the hotel.
Yeah, we're getting up Getting up pretty early, got a driver's meeting at 7:30. Yeah, just get to the track. Naoki had a lot of stuff to do on the cars still, so we didn't get to make the practice day today. So hopefully there is some practice in the morning. I have an idea of kind of the line and how to enter, and I've played it on like some games and stuff. Just like Mahon, like I pretty much had already driven Mahon before I went there. You should probably just put a bunch of I'm tired and hungover. Yeah, we drank a lot last night.
You center.
Okay, 1, 2, 3,
Hey guys, we've made it.
Nikko, how you feeling, Julian, after the gratuitous amount of sleep you got?
Ready.
Late 1990s, Japanese circuits would begin to fill with a new breed of drivers, drifters. So in 1997, a monthly drift magazine known as Battle Magazine Hypercar Style created its own competition series to find the best driver in Japan. Entries for the event were done on a first-come, first-served basis. With drifting growing in popularity, BM would receive up to 4,000 entrants in 1 year, and at times would sell out within 5 minutes when entries were announced. Anyone who entered its local competition were offered the chance to compete in BM's yearly National Cup. This would give drivers an opportunity to battle against different prefectures to see who was the best in Japan. Laying dormant since 2005, the series was revived in 2019 by one of its original organizers, Kazuma Auto Service, returning to Nikko Circuit where it was held in the past. BM Cup was the pinnacle of drifting competitions at the time, and helped create legendary drivers that we all know today. The competition we're at this time around was considered the National Cup, where Julian was finally getting ready for his first runs of the day.
When I first went to drive out onto the track, I noticed the temperature gauge was just buried hot. I was like, oh, that's not good. And Naoki came over and I pointed at the temperature gauge and he walked in and went, whack, 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 and hit the gauge. The fan shroud had like folded in and stopped the fan. So fix that real quick and then drift. Yeah, so back straight, grip that corner, put it in, I guess, first, which is second with that transmission, and upshift third, up to fourth, clutch kick this way, clutch kick that way. Ideally, downshift to third and just floor it. Come out to the outside, there's like a little dip, catch like one wheel on there, and it tightens up to the left, and then last switch to the right, judging done. The car felt really good, but the gearbox felt kind of weird. Not really the gearing that I'm used to, and felt like it was hard to get into third gear, but I thought that maybe it was just me, so I just tried to do as many laps as I could, trying to make sure the clutch was all the way and make sure I wasn't just doing something weird. But yeah, the more I drove, the harder it got to get the shifter into third gear.
But as Julian finished his first lap, it seems third gear wasn't going to be his only problems. As everyone gathered around the car to see what was wrong, things weren't looking so hot without having a third gear and possible engine problems. Another thing going on in the background, during the first round of hot laps, I was actually removed from some of the spots I was trying to shoot from. We ended up finding out that we needed permission from the track owner in order to let me shoot, and it was actually denied. Later I found out even if you do get a media pass, your locations to shoot from are still pretty restricted, but Nikko had good intentions. So yeah, frustrating, but definitely understandable. The meeting with the D1 legends from the night before actually was a blessing in disguise. One of the guys that were with them were running media for the day and was able to get me approved for media. Shortly after getting my vest, Yusuf came by to let me know what was going on with the car.
We have some unfortunate news. The turbo on Julian's S14 decided to eat itself alive.
Game over. Continue? Great!
Thankfully, the turbo was a false alarm and was able to be fixed, unlike the transmission where now Julian was going to have to figure out how to throw down some solid runs without third gear. With the practice session over and 7 laps under Julian's belt, next was qualifying. The layout was going to be 3 hot laps and then 3 qualifying laps. This was going to mean Julian was going to have around 19 laps altogether, but since he was having problems with the car, some of those laps weren't even able to be drifted. Since his class was only running solos compared to tandems, the drivers who could lay down the best runs will qualify for the next round. Though as he already mentioned,
ideally downshift to third and just floor it.
And that was going to be his problem. With no third gear to carry him through the turn, Julian was going to have to find an alter solution to make a clean run in order to advance to the next round. At this point, there was only one thing to do.
I wanted to do better, but it was fun. It was fun to drive a place I've watched for so many years and at a place where so many legendary drivers were. They were all there, so it was sick.
Well, as usual, I got here a little bit late, so I didn't catch his early morning driving. But the one session I did see him drive, the first lap he did was in the top 20% of what I've seen here all day today. He threw it in really hard and just held all the way around. But as the runs went on and on and on, it was just dropping out. You could just see it. I was like, oh no, it's the car. Something's wrong with it. A lot of the cars that Naoki runs are like that. They're firecrackers. They work really well, then they break, but then they fix them straight away. No, really impressed with him, the way he drove. First time at Nikko too. And one of the big things about Nikko is that all the guys here, like all these guys have done tens of thousands of laps here. And especially the judges know every single thing. Like they've seen so many good runs. If you don't do a perfect run, they'll just knock you straight down. And compared to a lot of other people I've seen drive this track for the first time, he did really well. So it's a shame the way it ended up today, but I would have liked to see him battle some of the OGs. But other than that, it was good to see Matty though.
With Julian's run class done for the day, it was time to watch the pros. Among those pros were one of the original members of Thrash Racing, Fukuda. As Mr. Nariyaro himself mentioned that a lot of these guys have experience, Fukuda has plenty of it because Nikko is his hometown track. Not to mention his car wasn't too crazy with an SR and a few bolt-ons and tons of driving experience, and ended up taking home second place. And in one of the other classes, the tandem class, Miki and Naoki won first place. And just like that, BM Cup was over. It was time to watch the cars get on the trailer, say our goodbyes, and head on the train back to Osaka. But there's a few things I wanted to ask the guys to finish this video out.
I'm better at interviews while I'm eating. The competitions in the States they're just on like, I don't know. American drifting competition style is just a totally different thing from the type of driving that I like to do. Within drifting, there's all these different facets now. I always compare it to skateboarding. Like, you're not going to see some big ramp half-pipe skater in a street contest. It just wouldn't make any sense. So drifting's the same way. American competitions are big horsepower, big sweeper, big angle, and Japanese competition is go really fast into a slow corner and slow down really fast or you're going to crash. Just the attitude of competition driving in America is more like, I mean, in Japan, of course, they want to win too, but it's like, I want to outdrive the other drivers, not I want to win no matter what. Not that everyone in America is shitty like that, but like, it's just, there's more of that. There's less of, none of that attitude in Japan. Yeah.
Having BM showed like who still was down to just have fun and drive, with the homies, not in their like super crazy 800 horsepower cars. They came out and like still showed that they could drive a normal car, even though Kikuchi had WiseFab. Sorry to break your hearts, Kikuchi was using WiseFab, but he's allowed to, he gets a pass. There's still really fun competitive competitions with a lot of talent where, granted, some guys did bring their Formula D cars like Andy Gray.
It doesn't matter, he didn't win.
Yeah, he didn't win. His car broke. And then like a bunch of other guys brought some extremely built vehicles, but at the end of the day, the winner was a guy in a pretty basic S14. You don't need all that bullshit, guys. Come to Japan, go to one track day, and you'll see, like, man, I need to rethink my life. Just keep releasing cool stuff, keep making animations, work on another secret project, keep helping the drivers attend events, maybe try hosting events. I don't know, just keep doing stuff.
Make drifting great again.
Yeah, have fun. Support the cool dudes.
Fucking drunk?
No.
Okay, we're gonna get out of here.
Hey, brother.